Yummy.
Okay, so I'm gonna sort of piggyback off what the candidates are responding to, and what I want to say is this: a lot of us students, the technology generation, as you put it, too often on our cell phones. So one of the things I think will be able to help would be applications for cell phones. Our website is there. How do you candidates think that you'd be able to help better manage the website and then propose things like an application for cell phones, and thereby helping students communicate better with the school? How do you intend to propose that?
I mean, I think it all goes back to communicating with the people who do the web, who focus on the website. I think that more time with us candidates, talking to them, saying, okay, this is what we think should be on the website, or this is what we're trying to do, and just communication and making things happen with the web design people.
Right, more advertisement. You have to make it appealing to the students. If no one knows about the certain applications that we're trying to implement, then you have to go to the people, word them out. Be the first one to say, hey, I just got a text message about an event that's at the school. You tell them the link, they go to it, and then their phone gets activated. We can find different ways, but we ultimately have to really communicate with the web design groups or the clubs that deal with making the websites, so that not only do we have the information we want to be out there, we make it somewhat appealing to each and every student.
Phyllis?
Yes, this is what I've been hearing throughout the entire forum with all the candidates, that communication is the key. I believe that we at Prince George's Community College have to communicate better. The administration, the faculty, the student body, and the community, because it is a community college. So as public relations director, I would definitely aggressively pursue ways of creatively coming up with ideas to communicate, to get the word out. Because I mean, like they say, a lot of students say, oh, I didn't hear about that. So we have to find a way a vehicle to communicate. That's the bottom line.
Okay, and we'll start around with Jeremy.
This question is for the student representative on the college-wide forum. How will you work with the other members of the forum to create a better environment for the students?
Well, first off, I would have to hear the students' voice. Go around and talk to students, saying what it is that they want to see change. And by me being a part of the college wide forum representative, I'll be able to present the students' ideas and come up with different, I guess, alternatives that can happen, develop relationships, as I stated earlier, because I think that is important, and that will help me to be able to really get the students' voices heard in the forum.
Okay. Neil?
Okay. This is towards the Director of Public Relations, Mrs. Phyllis. You mentioned that you would use Facebook and Twitter, right? And so the question was directed towards how in step are you with the student body so that you will be able to reach them. Now we know the means you're thinking of using, internet, peer-to-peer networking, but to get those people to notice that there exists a Facebook account or a Twitter account for their purpose, how will you reach out to them?
Well, I would definitely have to work with other members of the Student Governance Board. We'll work in collaboration with the vice presidents who are seated here with me and the other members to find out, as she said, what are the students thinking, what's on their minds, what do they like, what do they don't like, and then try to build on those type of vehicles. Because I know I'm not on campus as much as they are, so I would definitely communicate and interact and talk to the other members of the board to find out what needs to be done, as well as the students, in the classes that I take and the students I see in the computer labs or wherever I am on campus.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and Yemi, the last question is yours.
Okay, my last question is geared towards the Director of PR nominee Phyllis, but as student leaders, I think everybody should be able to answer this question or give students an idea what it is. The question is, in case of a campus shooting, you do know we've had a few in recent times, just this year alone.
Not at our campus.
Not in our campus, you know. I'm talking about Virginia, I think it was.
Right.
Okay, so in case of one here in Prince George's Community College, I would like for you to communicate to students things like, in detail, what would your first action be, what would your priorities be, and things of that nature.
Oh, I didn't know that would be my role if something that devastating happened on campus. I'm sure I would work in collaboration with some other people, but if that was my job, I would try to have in place some kind of like a system, like a PA system or something. I mean, I don't know if we have one here. I would have to do research to figure out what kind of mass communication systems we have in place. But if there were a PA system, you know, to say, okay, students, there's been an emergency, get out, we must move, you know, and have some kind of plan in effect, that would be something that I would definitely have to research right off the cuff. I can't say exactly, but I know from just off the cuff to say that I know that we would have to have some kind of PA system to be able to go into the classrooms, you know, where, you know, the message can get out that there's a problem on campus.
I would like to piggyback off of what Phyllis said with the whole mass communication and trying to find ways, whether if it's a PA system or a text messaging system or some kind of like button that we could press or just something of that sort. Of course, it would take a lot of more research once we get into office, but I think that maybe some kind of PA system or some kind of alert system to alert students right then and there what's happening.
I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you all. Well, let's be honest. This isn't my first institution that was an open campus.
Right.
I myself, in certain situations, don't feel safe. I'm being honest with you guys. You know, it's like they couldn't prepare for the events that occurred. So personally, I feel as though that students, we should say something. If you know one of your friends is having problems and you know they're taking it to another level, talk to them instead of just ignoring it and then waiting till it happens and then all of a sudden you're on TV trying to act like you're sorry. You know? Because I know everyone has different paths they live, everybody has different situations they live in, but I myself have enemies, you know, and I don't necessarily let that hinder my education, you know, because I still go to class, I still am involved. As you can see, I'm here running for a position that will have my face almost everywhere. But honestly, don't feel safe sometimes, you know. It's all about the security. If we were to talk more with police, and sadly, because we can't really check IDs, because the continuing education students don't have IDs, it's kind of a catch-22, you know. It's all about communication. Like, if you know someone is, you know, leaning towards that whole phase of, well, I'm about to, you know, come here and start some trouble, you know, because it's open campus, you know. Someone could be having a beef with somebody, and they could walk into the cafeteria, who knows what could happen, you know what I mean? So I feel as though that, first off, we have to look at ourselves, look at our security. Do you feel safe as you're on campus? Morning students and night students.
Okay, well,